Hello, I'm Kurt Schei, President and founder of WoodMax Power Equipment. I want to thank you for your purchase of our WM Series PTO wood chipper, the strongest, safest, and most reliable PTO chipper on the market today. Here at WoodMax, we strive to make your experience with our equipment as easy and as pleasurable as possible, from purchase to setup to operation. With that in mind, we produced a short video to assist you in the setup process.
Before we get started, there are a few tools you will need: a 1/2 inch or 13mm wrench or socket, a 5/8 or 16mm wrench or socket, a 3/4 or 19mm wrench or socket, an adjustable wrench, and an 18mm wrench or socket. Remove the plastic wrapping from the crate and inspect the chipper for any obvious shipping damage. Remove and unwrap all the chipper components that are packaged in the crate. Remove the cardboard box from the infeed bin. This box contains the user's manual, hardware packet, extra shear bolts, and any additional items you may have purchased, such as chipper knives. Open the hardware packet and organize the enclosed fasteners into separate piles. There is a picture of the hardware in the user's manual that you can use as a guide to ensure that you use the correct hardware in upcoming steps. Remove the 4 bolts that secure the top of the crate frame. Remove the top of the crate and set it aside. Located on the bottom of the crate is a crossbar that secures the chipper to the frame. Loosen the 2 bolts that hold the bar in place and drive the bar forward with a dead blow hammer. Locate the lift point on the top of the chipper. This is the balance point and the only point the chipper should be lifted from. Using a chain or strap that is rated strong enough to lift the weight of the chipper, lift the chipper out of the crate. If you do not have a front end loader, attach the 3-point hitch of your tractor to the chipper to lift the chipper out of the crate. Measure the distance from the PTO spline of your tractor to the ground. Keep this dimension in mind for the next step. While the chipper is raised in the air, attach the 4 adjustable base legs so that when the chipper is on the ground, the spline of the chipper is slightly lower than the spline of your tractor. The shaft does not need to be perfectly horizontal, but it is recommended that the slope of the PTO shaft is no more than 15 degrees. At this time, carefully lower the chipper to the ground and remove the chain or strap. Attach the left panel of the infeed bin using 2 of the 2-hole straps and 2 M10 by 25mm bolts. This panel can be identified by the 2 small holes on the bottom of the panel where the fasteners for the support leg attach. Attach the right side panel in the same manner. This panel can be identified by the 2 fastener holes in the middle of the panel where the hydraulic control valve mounts. Attach the bottom panel of the infeed bin by first inserting 2 M10 by 25mm bolts through the side panels in the 2 holes closest to the feed roller. Do not tighten these bolts yet and allow the panel to hang vertically. Raise the bottom panel in place, insert the 2 M10 by 25mm bolts through the side panel in the 2 holes closest to the end of the panel. Install the remaining 4 M10 by 25mm bolts in the remaining 4 holes in the lower panel. Before tightening the bolts, ensure that the lower panel is slightly higher than the infeed bin. This will prevent material from hanging up where the 2 pieces join together. Attach the top panel of the infeed bin by installing 2 M10 by 25mm bolts in the 2 forward holes of the panel. Install 2 M10 by 40mm bolts in the 2 holes closest to the opening. These bolts should be installed from the inside so that they point outward. These bolts are used to connect the safety bar in an upcoming step. Attach the support leg with 2 M10 by 25mm bolts. Remember, the support leg should be in the down position during storage only. When the chipper is attached to the tractor, the support leg should be in the up position at all times. Attach the hydraulic control valve to the right side panel of the infeed bin using 2 M8 by 60mm bolts. Attach the upper feed roller assist lever using 4 M10 by 25mm bolts. Fasten the chain from the upper feed roller assembly to the feed roller assist lever. The hardware for this can be located at the end of the chain. Connect the safety bar to the 2 M10 by 40mm bolts protruding from the top side of the infeed bin. First, hook the control valve side of the safety bar over the bolt on the right side panel. Then, pull the opposite arm of the safety bar over the bolt on the left side panel. Thread an M10 lock nut onto the bolt on either side, but do not tighten these nuts. This is a hinge point, and the safety bar must move freely. Connect the safety bar to the hydraulic control valve by removing the lever on the valve, aligning the slot on the safety bar to the valve, and reinstalling the lever. Some hydraulic fittings are left slightly loose for shipping purposes, so at this time, check and tighten them as needed. Affix the discharge chute to the chipper using 4 M10 by 15mm bolts, along with the 4 10mm lock washers that were included in the hardware packet. Fill the hydraulic tank with 6.5 gallons of high-quality hydraulic oil. There's a chart in your owner's manual that you can refer to determine the proper viscosity recommended for your region. Do not overfill the tank. There should be a 1-inch airspace at the top of the tank. Connect the chipper to the 3-point hitch of your tractor. Or if you have one, connect using your Category 1 quick hitch. Next, you must measure to determine the proper length of the PTO shaft. To do this, raise the chipper so that the spline of the chipper and the spline of the tractor are horizontal with each other. Measure the distance from the end of the spline of your tractor to the end of the spline of the chipper. This is the measured shaft end distance, or MSED. Now the shaft must be sized according to this measurement. Refer to the chart in your owner's manual to determine if the shaft must be cut to size. If so, see the section PTO shaft cutting instruction in your user's manual. After properly sizing the shaft, locate the 2 grease fittings on the shaft's universal joint and pump several shots of high-quality grease into the fittings. Attach the PTO shaft from the tractor to the chipper. Notice that one end of the shaft has a shear bolt. This end should be attached to the tractor. Prior to shipping the chipper to you, the following service has been done in our warehouse. The drive belts have been adjusted and tightened, bearings have been greased, USA-made knives were installed, adjusted, and the bolts were torqued to 40 foot-pounds. Before operating your chipper, you must first purge any air from the hydraulic system. First, locate the hydraulic flow valve, and by turning the knob counterclockwise, ensure the valve is fully open. The hydraulic control valve has 3 positions. The center position is neutral. Pull back on the lever to engage the feed rollers. Push forward on the lever to reverse the feed rollers. At this time, leave the valve in the center position. Start your tractor's engine, and while at idle, engage the power takeoff of your tractor. Slowly increase the engine speed of your tractor until the PTO speed reaches 540 RPM. Usually, there will be a mark on your tractor's tachometer that will indicate the necessary engine speed to achieve the required PTO speed of 540. Run the chipper with the hydraulic control valve in the center position for 2 to 3 minutes. Then, move the lever into the remaining positions and run it for an additional 2 to 3 minutes each. When you notice that the feed rollers change direction when the hydraulic valve is actuated, the system is purged. Disengage the tractor's power takeoff and stop the engine. When the flywheel stops turning, recheck the hydraulic oil. There should be a 1-inch airspace at the top of the tank. If more oil is required, add it at this time. Your setup is now complete.
Thank you for taking the time to view this video. I hope that the information that we have provided makes the assembly of your chipper go smoothly. All the steps you just saw can be found in our illustrated, user-friendly operation manual that came along with your chipper, as well as on our website along with our other products. I want to thank you again. Be safe, good luck on your mission, and please don't hesitate to call if you have any questions.